My name is Staff Sergeant Maya Brooks, and I found out my parents had been spending my combat pay the night I came home from Afghanistan to a brand new SUV in their driveway with my name on the finance paperwork. Not in honor of me, not saved up for me, in my name. Using the power of attorney I'd signed 3 years earlier in a beige office at Fort Bragg because everyone said it was just a formality before deployment. The funny part, they'd even put a yellow ribbon magnet on the back. Welcome to Quiet Storm Stories, the US edition where women who serve quietly for everybody else finally tell you what happened when they stopped doing it for free. If you've ever been the one who takes care of things while your family cries poor and calls you a hero, but something in your gut says the math is wrong. Stay with me, because I didn't just bring a war home in my head. I came back to a paper war I didn't know I was already losing. Let me take you back 3 years. I grew up in Fayetteville, North Carolina, about 20 minutes from Fort Bragg. My dad did 20 years in the 82nd Airborne. My mom did 20 years as his unpaid logistics officer. You know the type. The fridge calendar general. TA president. The one who knows exactly where everyone's social security card is. By the time I was a teenager, I could field strip an M for blindfolded and fill out a Tricari form without Google. I enlisted straight out of high school. Military police. Deployed to Afghanistan at 22, I wasn't the golden child. That was my younger brother, Jordan. He stayed home, did college in Raleigh, played Division I ball for a minute, blew his knee, and then sort of floated, but I was the reliable one. The one who never missed a birthday call even downrange. The one who sent home part of every paycheck for the house because Mum said the VA didn't stretch like it used to and Dad's back wasn't what it was. Don't worry about the boring stuff. Baby girl, she'd say on Frasser time. We've got your mail. We've got your accounts. You just focus on staying alive. Before my first deployment, the JAG officer Bragg walked our whole platoon through pre-deployment legal. Everyone needs a will and a power of attorney, she said. If you get hit by a bus, someone's got to be able to sign for you. My parents drove up for it. We sat in a windowless office with a flag in the corner. Dad looked proud. Mum looked tired and proud. The JAG slid documents in front of me. A will, simple. Everything to my next of kin. At the time, that was my parents. A general power of attorney, not so simple. It said, I, SSGT Maya Brooks, appoint Carol and Thomas Brooks, jointly and severally, as my lawful attorneys in fact to manage, control, and conduct all of my affairs, including banking, property, and financial transactions. I skimmed. I was thinking about the range the next morning, about the before-after photos the army photographer had taken, about whether my kit would pass inspection. Standard stuff, the JAG said. Most folks give it to a spouse or a parent. Dad squeezed my shoulder. We'll keep your life straight for you, kiddo. I signed every deployment after that Kuwait. Then back to Afghanistan, it was renewal forms, same drill. Mum would text me, honey, JAG needs your POA updated. We'll swing by base and handle the notarizing, like it was picking up dry cleaning. I didn't think too hard about it. I trusted them like I trust the guy checking my parachute. First tour, I sent home $300 a month. Second tour, $500, hazard pay, family separation allowance. Reenlistment bonus it all flowed through my LES and into a USAA account my parents had helped me open at 18. Put it in savings, I'd said, for when I get out. Maybe a down payment on a house. Of course, Mum had said. We're just the babysitters. What no one tells you is that deployment life trains you to outsource. You are physically here, mentally there. You can't pay the water bill from a convoy. You can't argue with Verizon about roaming charges between patrols. So when my mom said, I'll move some money around for your student loans, give me your login, I didn't flinch when she said, USAA messed up your address. I'll get them to send everything to us instead so it doesn't get lost. I said thank you when my brother needed a co-signer for a small consolidation loan and she texted, we'll use the POA. It's easier than getting docs shipped down range. You're a good sister. I sent a thumbs up emoji and went back to my guard tower. I told myself I was lucky. Some of my soldiers had no family. No one who would hold it all together while they were gone. Then, near the end of my third deployment, A new private in our unit said something that lodged under my skin. We were sitting in the MW tent, pretending the coffee tasted of anything but dust. He was grumbling about his ex using his POA to take money out of his account. Got it revoked, he said. Jag says a general POA is basically a blank check. Never giving that to anyone again. I laughed it off. Yeah, but that's different, I said. She's an ex. It's my parents. They're not going to screw me, he shrugged. People get weird about money, Sarge, he said. My mom's already hinted she wants my bonus for the house roof. I told her she can have it when she starts pulling a ruck. We laughed. But that night, lying on my bunk under the flap of my poncho liner, the sentence replayed. A general POA is basically a blank check. I pushed it away. We were close to redeploying. All my mental energy was on staying uninjured and getting home in one piece. 9 months later, I stepped off the plane at Pope Field. Boots on Carolina tarmac. Yellow ribbons, American flags, families screaming. My parents were there, front and center. Dad in his old 82nd cap. Mum with a scrapbook already half made in her head. Jordan was there too, sucking on a vape. Wearing a hoodie with a sports team I didn't recognize. Mum hugged me like she was never letting go. My baby soldier. She cried, "You're home." Dad shook my hand like I was another NCO in his unit. "Proud of you, Brooks," he said. Voice gruffed up. We did the whole welcome home thing. Banners, casseroles from the church. Neighbors coming over to thank you for your service while looking oddly vibrant and well-fed. The first time my stomach flipped was 2 days later. When Mom insisted on hosting a barbecue, "We want to celebrate," she said, bustling around the kitchen. "Besides, we've got something to show you." She'd said it like it was a surprise party when I pulled up to their place. There it was in the driveway, a shiny, slate grey SUV, still smelling of showroom, with temp tags in the window and a yellow support our trips magnet on the back. For a minute, I thought, maybe, did you? I started. Mom beamed. "Like it," she said. "We thought you deserved something nice. It's in your name, of course. You've got the best rates. And with your army income, it was no problem getting approved." The world did a slow, silent spin. "In my name," I repeated. "Of course," she said, as if I was being dense. "We used the POA, we're your attorneys in fact, remember?" The dealership said it was no big deal. No money down. Just $640 a month. And your hazard pay hasn't even cleared yet, so we'll just set the auto pay. You won't feel it. I looked at the SUV, at the key fob in Mom's hand. At the old, battered sedan Dad had been driving for 10 years, now pushed to the curb like a retiree. Who's actually driving it? I asked. Dad chuckled, clapping Jordan on the shoulder. "Well, your brother's been taking it to Raleigh for work," he said. "But it's yours on paper." Great credit builder, Jordan gave me a tight, embarrassed half smile. "Didn't quite meet my eyes. You know about this?" I asked him. He shrugged. "Dad said it was sorted. Sis said you were cool with it. Every deployment." My signature on a POA had been like clipping a carabiner to a safety line. Now I was realizing someone had quietly unclipped it and used it to tie a bow on their own stuff. I didn't scream. Years in uniform had trained me to swallow, breathe, assess. "Can I see the finance contract?" I asked. Mum looked puzzled. "The what?" "The paperwork," I said, each syllable clipped. "The loan agreement." "Since it's apparently mine," she huffed, offended. "Maya, don't be ungrateful," she said. "Do you know how many families don't have anyone to help them? You've been over there. We've been holding the fort. This is just one way we're using your blessings for the family." Dad stepped between us, peacemaker mode. "It's fine, honey," he said. "We'll show her." "Jordan, go grab the file from the den." The folder he brought back was thick. On top was the SUV contract, my full name, my social, my APA address, my rank. Co-signers, Carol and Thomas Brooks as attorneys in fact. A PR, a watering. Term, 6 years. Below that were statements from my USAA account. Regular transfers labeled family support. $500, $700, $1,000 at a time. Not all in the months I'd agreed to. Emergency repairs, Mum said airily when I asked. Jordan's tuition. Your grandma's medical bills. Life, you know, she said it like I'd just missed a few PTA bake sales. I sat there at their kitchen table. my deployment tan fading under the fluorescent light, and realized two things at once. They genuinely felt entitled to my money, legally. Thanks to that General POA and my own blind trust. They might actually have had the right to move it, emotionally, morally. That was a different battlefield. Take the POA back. My platoon sergeant's voice whispered in my head. Never give anyone a blank check. That night, when they'd all finally gone to bed, I sat in my childhood bedroom in my old NCSUT shirt and logged into my USAA account. Balance, way lower than it should have been. Credit score, still decent. But carrying a shiny new auto loan with my name all over it. I clicked through the statements, bullet pointing every transfer. Every family support payment I hadn't consented to individually. It totaled just under $25,000 across 3 years. Hazard pay, reenlistment bonus, tax refunds, all of it quietly siphoned for the house and for the family. I stared at the number. I'd been shot at for that money. Jordan had been, what? Driving to the beach in an SUV he couldn't spell the name of. The next morning, I was at the legal assistant's office at Fort Bragg when they opened. The captain behind the desk was younger than me, but her eyes were old. She'd seen this before. She skimmed my POA, my account statements, the auto finance contract. Can I undo this? I asked. She exhaled through her nose. You can revoke the POA today, she said. That's easy. We'll draft it, you sign, we send notice to any institutions we know they've contacted as your attorney in fact. But the actions they took while the POA was valid are murkier. They took my money, I said flatly. They bought themselves a car and called it a blessing for the family. I hear you, she said. But from a technical standpoint, you authorized them to act on your behalf. Unless we can prove they were explicitly acting against your instructions or committing fraud, it's more of a civil family dispute than criminal. I thought of my dad's old stories about soldiers wiring half their paychecks home in the 80s. About uncles who borrowed bonuses that were never seen again. How many times a week do you see this? I asked. Too many, she said quietly. Usually it's spouses. Sometimes parents. People back home think deployment money is monopoly money. They forget you're still alive and might want a life with it. She slid a form towards me. First things first, she said. Revoke the POA, then we talk about whether you want to take this further. That's a separate op. I signed the revocation. My hand shook a little. It felt like cutting a lifeline and an umbilical cord at the same time. That afternoon, I confronted my parents in daylight. No screaming. No, how could you? Theatrics. Just me at the kitchen table with printed statements and the revocation notice. I've cancelled the power of attorney, I said. Effective immediately, you have no legal right to touch my accounts or sign for me. Mom's mouth fell open. We're family, she said. As if that was a legal argument. How could you do that to us? How could you take $25,000 I earned sleeping in body armor and act like it was community property? I shot back. How could you sign for a 6-year car loan in my name without speaking to me once? Dad's jaw clenched. We kept your life running so you could play soldier, he said, his voice low and dangerous. The least you can do is let us use some of that dangerous pay to upgrade the house. There is no house in my name, I said. There is only a car I never wanted that I am now legally on the hook for. Jordan hovered in the doorway, looking suddenly 12 again. Just say the word and I'll help pay it, he mumbled. I looked at him. At Mom, at Dad. This isn't about the car, I said. It's about consent, trust. I trusted you. You treated my signature like a permission slip you could keep photocopying. I took a breath. I'm moving back on post, I said. I'll keep sending something for the utilities because I'm not a monster. But the blank check days are over. Mom burst into tears. You've changed, she sobbed. The army's hardened you. You don't understand family anymore. No, I said quietly. I've finally understood it too well. In the weeks that followed, I didn't press charges. I didn't drag them to court, partly because the legal captain was right. It would be a messy civil case, hard to win, harder to live with. Partly because I knew exactly how small my hometown was and how fast she sued her folks would spread. Instead, I did 3 things. I refinanced the SUV in my own name for the lowest rate I could find and moved it off their driveway to the motor pool on post. I set up an allotment for a fixed Small amount to my parents each month and nothing else. I became that annoying NCO who harasses every junior soldier in my unit. Who's got your POA? Have you read it? Do you trust them with everything? Because if my story was going to be painful, it was damn well going to be useful. At pre-deployment briefs now. When the JAG says you all need a power of attorney, I raise my hand, recommend a special POA. Ma'am, I say. Limited to specific things. Vehicle registration, ID card pickup, that kind of thing. Not a general financial one, ever. The new privates look confused. I see a few older NCOs nod slowly. Over time, word gets around. Hey, SSG Brooks says don't give your cousin back home a general POA. He'll buy a boat. Brooks nearly got stuck with her parents' car loan. Don't be like Brooks. I let them make the jokes. I tell them the story straight. You'd be amazed how many changed their paperwork after that. On my next deployment, I gave a very narrow special POA to a friend in my unit instead. Authority, accept certified mail. Nothing else. My parents sent a care package with cookies and a note saying they missed me. I wrote back and asked how the old sedan was running. Sometimes I think about that younger version of me in the JAG office, signing the first POA, thinking I was being responsible and grown up. If I could talk to her now, I wouldn't say, don't trust your parents, that's too easy. Too cynical, I'd say, trust is not a legal strategy. It's a feeling. Paperwork is something else. Don't mix them up. I still love my parents. I call on holidays. I send photos. But the relationship changed the day I took my signature back. They used to say, that's what family does. Every time they dipped into my money. Now, when they start that sentence, I finish it in my head. Family asks, if you're in the military, or overseas, or just the one who left and sends money home. I hope my story nudges you to do 3 small, undramatic things. Read your power of attorney before you sign it. Limit it to what's necessary. Check your bank and credit reports yourself, even if everyone swears we've got it. Sweetheart, because you can't always control what happens on deployment, but you can control who comes home with access to your life. And you don't need a uniform to understand this last bit. No one, not a spouse, not a parent, not a grateful little brother, has earned the right to treat your name like a debit card. 3 months after I'd revoked the power of attorney and moved my duffel back into a barracks room on post, the Army decided I needed to prepare for transition. Translation: attend a bunch of briefings so nobody could say they hadn't warned me about the civilian world. One of them was titled, Managing Your Money After Service. I almost skipped it. I'd just come off a 12-hour shift in the MP station. My boots hurt. And the last thing I wanted was some civilian in a suit telling me to stop buying lattes. But attendance was mandatory. So at 1300, I found myself in a lecture hall with 20 other NCOs and a retired colonel who now worked for a veterans financial charity. He asked a simple question. How many of you have ever given someone else a general power of attorney? Most of the room raised their hands. Keep them up if that person has ever used it to move money, open accounts, or sign contracts you didn't specifically discuss. Hands stayed up. Mine included. He nodded slowly. Okay, he said. First lesson, there's legal authority, and there's moral authority. Just because you've given someone the first doesn't mean you owe them the second. He clicked to a slide with 3 big letters. POA, General POA, he said, is like giving someone the keys to your house, your car, your gun safe, and your bank. Special POA is like handing them 1 key for 1 door for 1 job. If you get nothing else from this briefing, get that for the next hour. He walked us through case studies. A Lance Corporal whose wife had cleared their joint account to pay off her boyfriend's truck while he was in Iraq. A staff sergeant whose brother had borrowed his reenlistment bonus for rehab and never come back. A captain whose parents had remortgaged their home using his credit. The room shifted. You could feel the uncomfortable recognition. When he finished, he opened it up for questions. A corporal raised her hand. Sir, what do you do if it already happened? She asked, if your folks have already used your money because you made them POA? I don't want to call sit on my own mom. He didn't give a neat hallmark answer. You take the keys back, he said. And going forward, you treat that like a burned bridge. You can still love across it. You just don't drive your finances over it again. It was the first time I'd heard someone say out loud what my gut had been whispering. You can set boundaries without making yourself an orphan. After the brief, Soldiers clustered in the hallway, comparing war stories. Bro, my aunt did that to me. My missus paid her student loans with my diploma pay. My dad invested my bonus in his restaurant. Restaurant went under. I listened. My own stack of printed statements in my bag, and realized I was not someone or freak case. I was a statistic. That didn't make it feel better, but it did make me feel less alone. The next emotional landmine came, as they often do, disguised as a family holiday. Mum called one evening, voice syrupy. Baby, your cousin's doing Thanksgiving at her place this year, she said. Everyone's coming. It would mean so much if you'd wear your uniform. People love seeing a lady soldier. I'm not a mascot, I said lightly. I'll come if I'm not on duty. But I'm not standing in the doorway like a recruiting poster. She laughed that high, brittle laugh that used to mean I was pushing it. Fine, she said. Just come home. It's been too long. We'll do your favorite sweet potato casserole. Guilt is a powerful thing, especially when it comes wrapped in marshmallows. I went. Thanksgiving at my aunt's place was everything you'd expect. Crowded kitchen, football on the TV, kids underfoot. My uncle said grace and did the whole "we're so grateful for Maya's service" speech after dinner. As people drifted into food comas, my mom cornered me by the sink. If you'd just seen how things were when you were gone, she said, wine glass in hand, you'd understand why we had to use some of that money. The roof was leaking. Your dad's back was bad. Jordan's tuition. I'm not disputing that life was hard, I said calmly. I'm disputing that you didn't ask, she bristled. We couldn't ask. You were in a war zone. You facetimed me to ask what color you should paint the kitchen, I said. You could have asked about a 5-figure loan. Her face reddened. You've changed, she said again. You used to just help. Now it's all lawyers and my rights. You're right, I said. I have changed. I've learned the difference between being supportive and being exploited. She flung her hand out dramatically, nearly sloshing wine on my aunt's tile. We're your parents, she snapped. You wouldn't even exist without us. Exactly, I said quietly. Which is why I'm so angry you took advantage of that. She stomped off to refill her glass. My dad avoided my eyes the rest of the night. On the drive back to post, I gripped the steering wheel of my sensible, dull, fully paid off used Corolla, the car I'd bought with what remained of my savings after the Durango debacle, and felt something settle in me. I had been treating this like a one-off. In sudden to be corrected POA revoked, car sold, boundaries reset. But to them, it wasn't an incident. It was a worldview. Money that flowed to me was family money. My rank, my hazard pay, my les, it was all a collective resource they were managing. I could forgive the specific choices. I could not live with that world view running my life. Around this time, the new privates in my platoon started coming to me with questions. Sarge, is it normal for my mom to be asking for my login to my pay? My fiancé wants me to put it on my checking account so she can help while I'm on rotation. Is that normal? My dad keeps hinting my reenlistment bonus should go to the family debt. What did you do with yours? I started holding unofficial POA and money talks in the smoke pit. I'd draw 3 boxes on a scrap of paper. Box 1, I'd say, stuff only you should ever access: my pay, your bank login, your TSP, your credit card. No one needs those. Not your mom, not your spouse, no one. Box 2, things someone can do with a limited POA: register your car, sign for a package, turn your cable off. Specific stuff. Get a JAG to write it. Don't just sign the general form. Box 3, things you don't delegate: signing you up for loans, opening credit, moving lump sums. If anyone says they need a POA for that, run it by legal first. They'd listen. Eyes wide, nodding. Sometimes they'd say, my folks would never do that. I always answered the same way. Mine would never, too. Until they did, word spread. New soldiers started saying things like I'm doing a Brooks POA, not a general one. I took the nickname. If my most embarrassing screw-up could become shorthand for don't do this again, I was fine with it. About a year after I'd come home to the SUV, something happened that forced a deeper shift. My grandmother died. She'd been the one person in the family who always treated my military service with clear-eyed honesty. You're doing this for your future, not theirs, she'd say, nodding at my parents' house. Don't let them spend your knees as well as your dollars. In her will, she left a small amount of money, $10,000, split between me and Jordan. The family gathered in the attorney's cramped office, dark wood paneling and all. Mum wore black. Dad looked stiff in a tie. Jordan scrolled his phone, eyes flicking up only when the lawyer read the amounts. And the remaining estate is to be divided equally between my grandchildren, Maya Brooks and Jordan Brooks. Mum turned to me immediately. Baby, we'll just put your half toward the home equity line, she said. It'll make the payment on the roof so much easier. And you know your grandma would have wanted a no, I said. She stopped mid-sentence, like someone had hit pause. What? She said. No, I repeated. My share is going to my savings. That's what Grandma told me she wanted when we talked. She wanted me to have something that was just mine. Mom's nostrils flared. That's selfish, she said. You don't even have kids. We're trying to keep a roof over your brother's head. You mean the brother with 2 working legs and a degree? I said he can contribute his own share. I'm not funding your retirement with my inheritance on top of everything else. Dad shifted, opened his mouth to say something, then shut it again when the attorney cleared his throat. For the record, he said meekly, these are individual bequests. Ms. Brooks is entitled to do what she wants with her portion. Mum glared at him like he'd committed treason. On the drive back, she gave me the silent treatment. Texted me that night with a paragraph about the Bible saying honor your mother and father. I typed, deleted, and finally replied, I'm honoring Grandma by doing what she told me to do. Stop setting myself on fire to keep everybody else warm. We didn't speak for a month. It hurt. Of course it did. This was my mother, not some random roommate. But in that space, something surprising happened. My older cousin started reaching out. Hey, heard you told Aunt Carol no. One texted. Wish I'd done that when I came back from Iraq. My signing bonus is still in Dad's truck somewhere. Another messaged me on Facebook. Maya, could you send me that POA revocation template? I gave my mom a General one last tour, and she's freaking out that I'm going to cancel it. I kind of want to. I realized my family, like a lot of military families in small towns, ran on unspoken rules. One of them had been, the kid in uniform owes everyone. By saying no to that, I was not just protecting myself. I was silently giving permission for others to question it. One afternoon, I was in the PX when I heard someone call my name, Brooks. It was Private Torres, one of my newer soldiers. He jogged over, slightly out of breath, holding a USAA leaflet. "K Sarge," he said. "You got a minute? My cousin back in Texas is on me to put him on my account so he can help with bills. He says, since I'm single, I should use my money for the family." What did you tell your folks when they said that? I thought of my mom's voice. That's what family does, baby. Of my dad's casual assumption that my hazard pay was for the house. I told them my life is the family contribution, I said. My job is service. My pay is for my future. He nodded slowly. Think I'm gonna go with the special POA for my car and that's it, he said. Thanks, Sarge. I watched him walk away and thought, this is what breaking a cycle looks like. Not a big court case. Not a dramatic confrontation. Just 1,000 tiny no. Actually decisions in barracks halls and kitchens and JAG offices. I'd love to tell you my parents had a moment of revelation. That my dad apologized. That my mom said, we were wrong. We're proud of you setting boundaries. Real life is messy. At first, they wheedled. Then they sulked. Then they adjusted. They still make little digs when I don't pay for things. We'd all go to Florida if someone with army money would help. Mum will say at Christmas, eyeing me over the turkey, I already did my tour of duty in the sand. I'll say, you and Dad can do Florida on your own. Sometimes we laugh. Sometimes she rolls her eyes, but she doesn't have my logins. She doesn't have my signature. She doesn't have my POA. And over time, even she's admitted, in her own sideways way, that maybe that's for the best. When the washing machine broke last month, she rang me and said, we'll figure it out. Don't worry, it sounds small. It isn't. That's a sentence she would never have said 3 years ago without adding, can you send something? On my last redeployment form, the JAG captain looked at my blank POA section, not designating anyone. She asked, not for finances, I said. I've got a special POA for my buddy to pick up my mail. That's all I need, she smiled. Like someone who'd just seen a patient finally take their meds. Good call, Staff Sergeant, she said. You'd be amazed how many people only learn that after it's cost them a small fortune. I already know. I paid 25 grand and a rec trust. Fun for that lesson, but I'm not paying it. Forward in silence, if you're military, or just the person everyone expects will help out because you've made it. Here's what part 2 of my story boils down to. Revoking access is not betrayal. It's course correction. Limiting a power of attorney is not distrust. It's basic risk management. Saying no to your family's financial expectations doesn't mean you don't love them. It means you love yourself enough to have a future. The army taught me to pack a ruck, read a map, clear a room.